Sometimes animals can be quite elusive and camera shy. That's why it's such a big deal if someone's able to spot them. Like this mysterious creature, and this prehistoric looking bird. Piebald deer. An extremely rare animal was captured on camera by a trail camera that was installed in the woods of northern Ontario. Photographing a piebald white-tailed deer is often compared to photographing a unicorn since they're so rare and beautiful. Nature lovers and hunters alike may go their entire lives without seeing one. For some years, Tom, an ardent outdoorsman, had been stashing cameras in the woods. Despite hearing of a few sightings and seeing one from a distance, he's never found one in his thousands of hours of recordings. That is, until now. Piebald pigmentation is caused by a genetic abnormality seen in many mammals and even reptiles. Because it is a recessive characteristic, it can only develop if both parents have the gene. This is extremely uncommon, affecting less than 2% of the deer population. Both appear to be identical to albinism in certain ways, but the difference can be seen simply glancing at the animal's eyes. Albino deer are distinguished by their pink eyes, pink noses, and pink hooves. Piebald deer are identified by their brown eyes, nostrils, and hooves. Shoebill stork. A strange bird with a shoe for a face dwells deep in Africa's isolated, thick, and little explored wetlands. No, I'm being serious here. The African shoebill stork resembles something out of a comic book rather than a bird you could see on an African safari. This rare bird, found in the swampy marshes of Uganda, Rwanda, western Tanzania, and Zambia, could have walked right out of the dinosaur era. The shoebill stork is a rare and critically endangered bird with a wild population of less than 5,000 individuals. The shoebill towers over 55 inches above the swampland mud it calls home, thanks to its long, spindly blue-gray legs that match its blue-gray feathers. The over-exaggerated beak is simply unbelievable. This huge appendage resembles the famous Dutch clog more so than anything a bird could possibly use to consume its meal, let alone anything it would carry on its face. The truth is that little is actually known about this intimidating bird. The species was only scientifically documented for the first time in the late 19th century. This bird is elusive and unsociable. Individuals avoid each other unless it's breeding season, and it's common for the birds to maintain a distance of at least 20 meters apart while foraging and meandering through the swampland. Javan rhinos. According to the WWF, the Javan rhino is one of the world's rarest mammals, with as few as 72 remaining in the wild. The confirmed population can be found at a national park on the western edge of Java. Its vulnerability stems from its small, concentrated population size. Any natural disaster might wipe out the remaining animals. Furthermore, poachers continue to target rhinos due to their claimed medical benefits. In 2010, a Javan rhino was slaughtered in Vietnam for its horn. While camera trap images of the Javan rhino have shown on occasion, a WWF spokeswoman claims the shot released are just a third obtained from the set ever published. They provide a unique opportunity to see the critically endangered species wallowing in near-dusk light. According to photographer Robin Moore, who captured the photographs in October with a group from Global Wildlife Conservation and WWF Indonesia, very few people have seen a Javan rhino in the wild. Even some of the people who have spent decades attempting to conserve them, he claims, have never seen one. Javan rhinos are significantly more difficult to find than their savanna-dwelling relatives. This is mainly because they're a solitary species that live in dense tropical forests. Albino raccoon. Lightning is more likely to strike you than a rare albino raccoon. This trail cam footage, on the other hand, outperformed a 1 in 750,000 probability of encountering one. In addition to hours of entertainment, John and Linda Snyder of Wooster, Ohio claimed that their trail camera and feeder recently helped them catch a rare fish. The Snyders were astonished when they looked at the recording card on their trail camera, which was placed up around 125 feet from their back door in Wooster. It turned out that the white figure was an albino raccoon, and a very hungry one at that. White raccoons are exceedingly uncommon, with some estimating 1 in 500,000 possibility, because natural selection generally eliminates them because white is not a favorable color for wild creatures, unless they're snow adapted, such as polar bears or snowshoe hare, which are only white in the winter. South Philippine dwarf kingfisher. The South Philippine dwarf kingfisher was described for the first time in 1890 during the Steer expedition to the Philippines. The bird is the Philippines' smallest species of forest kingfisher, distinguished by its remarkable plumage of metallic lilac, orange, and vivid blue dots. It can be found in the islands of Mindanao and Basilan in virgin and second-growth forests. The South Philippine dwarf kingfisher has a distinct call, characterized as a high-pitched, insect-like, and virtually inaudible zeep, which has baffled experts for almost a century. It's difficult to observe since it perches softly and darts from perch to perch unseen. However, it's because of Miguel David de Leon, a Filipino field biologist and the executive director of the Robert S. Kennedy Bird Conservancy, that we're able to see this stunning bird, which is regrettably on the verge of extinction. The only known photograph of a baby South Philippine dwarf kingfisher was taken in March of 2020. When biologist and birder Miguel de Leon took his photograph, the bird was just around 3 weeks old. Ruby Sea Dragon. For the first time, scientists have filmed the ruby sea dragon, a beautifully colorful fish related to seahorses in the wild. The clip, shot in Western Australia's Rashira Archipelago, also shows the 10-inch long fish for the first time alive. In early 2015, the ruby sea dragon was proclaimed a new species, making it only the third known sea dragon species and the first discovered in 150 years. The finding, however, was made through DNA tests and anatomical investigations of dead museum specimens, rather than by collecting the dark red species in its natural habitat. Finding the ruby sea dragon in the flesh proved difficult, in part because the species behaves so differently than its nearest cousins, the common and leafy sea dragons. In April of 2016, Rouse and his colleagues flew to the distant archipelago where the holotype had been discovered, in the hopes of discovering the species in the wild. 2 further specimens washed ashore nearby in 2015 and 16, confirming the team's decision to search those seas. Due to the choppy seas, the team only had 1 day in the archipelago to discover a ruby sea dragon. They were able to record 2 ruby sea dragons more than 167 feet deep after 4 dives with a remote-controlled mini-sub, as the fish swam through rocky gardens of sponges and dined on their prey, most likely tiny crustaceans called mysids. White lions. White lions are among the world's rarest and most valuable creatures. Even rarer is their survival in the wild. Because their white color shines out in Africa's harsh bushland, they're more likely to be attacked and killed by rival predators than marauding adult male lions. White lions, who are frequently misidentified as albinos, do have some pigmentation and black eyes. They are leucistic creatures, resulting from the mating of 2 tawny lions with a recessive gene for white coat color. Their ghostly white appearance is both a blessing and a curse. This grants them mythological prominence while also exposing them to unique vulnerability. Since white lions were originally discovered in South Africa in 1975, only 3 white cubs have grown to adulthood. Now, 2 white cubs sisters have defied the odds, surviving all of their adolescent trials with the support of 2 extraordinary lionesses. This would be their mother Matimba and their aunt Kanya. Matimba and Kanya must rely completely on their own expertise, power, and fortitude to safeguard their family in the absence of an adult male lion. Now it's time for the day's best pick. In today's photo, you can clearly see these 2 strange creatures walking in the snow. No one really knows what they are, and there's been various sightings of mysterious creatures walking around. Mysterious creature. In this unusual video, a strange human-like creature can be seen gently strolling over the desert. The strange man-like beast fits in with its muted surroundings, while birds chirp eerily in the distance. The creature, however, does not remain visible for long before disappearing behind a huge bush. The camera then pans out to reveal the rest of the desert, revealing a parked automobile and other forms of life that had been blissfully oblivious to the drama that was unfolding. Some speculate it could have been a chupacabra, a mythological Central and South American goatsucker originally seen in Puerto Rico. Others have remarked on the footage's remarkable resemblance to Bigfoot. The YouTube video has been seen over 200,000 times since then and has gone viral. Giant squid. Giant squids are as enormous as they're referred to be. The largest one that researchers have ever seen measured about 43 feet long and may have weighed close to a ton. Such a large animal shouldn't be difficult to miss, am I right? However, because the ocean is wide and the giant squid resides deep beneath the surface, they remain elusive and rarely seen. Much of what we know comes from dead carcasses that drifted to the surface and were discovered by fishermen. However, after years of hunting, a group of scientists from Japan's National Science Museum, along with colleagues from Japanese public broadcaster NHK and the Discovery Channel, captured the first footage of a gigantic squid in its native habitat in 2012. The species was first observed in the wild in 2006, when researchers put bait beneath a research vessel off the Ogasawara Islands in an attempt to catch a gigantic squid. As the camera whirred, the study team hauled a 24-foot squid to the surface alive, allowing people all across the world to take a glimpse at a living, breathing giant squid for the first time. And just recently, in April of 2022, a living gigantic squid washed ashore on the sands of a Japanese beach. It was 3.35 meters in length and was safely transported to a local aquarium. Herola. The Herola is a small antelope that can weigh up to 118 kilograms. It has long pointed horns and is tawny or tan brown in color. The Herola's current population is estimated to be less than 500. This small group is restricted to communal grounds near the Kenya-Somali border and has no institutional protection. Kenya's Ijara and Garissa counties have the largest concentrations. The Herola is the only living member of the genus Beatragus, and there are no captive specimens. The Herola is the world's most endangered antelope, with very few remaining. This is the lowest known population of an antelope species, and its population has been steadily declining since the 1970s. See you all next time.